Okay, so on top of all the research that I've shared, we have 3 incredible new research studies to add to this huge body of proven research. More published in top medical, sports, and nutrition journals. By far, there's no other nutritional product that has anywhere near. Just look and see if they even have 1 or 2 studies that are published in top medical journals. That's what I recommend. And so it truly, all this research shows the nutritional excellence of concentrated plants in a capsule, professional, peer-reviewed, and some of the things it shows are bringing the immune system into much better balance, bringing down inflammation, one of the most important things you could possibly do for the totality of health, improved dental and gum, wound healing, improved skin, I'll take it, improved insulin resistance, better protein status in cancer survivors, improved cardiovascular, improved sports and performance recovery, and super important, protecting your DNA from damage. I mean, that's aging. That right there, that is so critical, that we help protect our DNA from damage. And now we have 3 more recently published studies. The first one I want to share with you is on the omega. Our omega, plant-based omega. You don't need the fish. The fish eat the algae. And so Juice Plus researched for 2 years to come up with what I believe is the best omega in the world. We've had incredible, I mean, I didn't think I would get results from it. And I had incredible vision improvement, brain clarity, and my skin improved even more. So that is my own personal testimony, but I want to share with you why I think that is happening. But it's not just omega-3. As in all plants, we need variety. It's 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9. These are all essential fatty acids that have a specific function in your body. And I just want to focus on omega-3. Omega-3 is used in every cell in our body. It's super important. It's critical for the health and better aging of the eyes and the brain. And so there's been a lot of research on omegas in general, not our omega yet. We haven't had time. This has only been out about 3 years. It takes time to do long-term studies. But I do have one study I'm going to share with you that we've had time to finish. But the research on omega in general has shown clearly, this is absolutely seen, that about 90% of Americans are very deficient in omegas. There was a recent study, well, it was in 2012 at UCLA, that showed the group that they tested, 70% were seriously deficient, 20% had no omegas in their blood, none. Okay, so, and let's talk about what omegas have been shown to do. They help reduce incidence of depression, anxiety, postpartum depression, ADHD. They reduce blood clotting, blood pressure, triglycerides, joint pain, asthma, metabolic syndrome, belly fat, you guys, mental decline, Alzheimer's, risk of cancer. It is thought that, the research is showing that the people that have high enough levels of omega-3 have a 55% lower risk of colon cancer. That's a huge improvement, you guys. Most things they'll say 20%, 10%, 55%, and colon cancer is a killer. Often it's a killer. It really is a super nutrient. Dr. Bill Sears, America's most beloved pediatrician, nicknamed it the super nutrient. So why is it so important? It is used in the skin of the cell membrane, okay? And the cell membrane is mostly fat. So it's going to take the fat in your diet and make its outer shell. Most Americans eat way more saturated fat. So most Americans outer shell of their cells, and I want you to really apply this to vision and brain, is saturated fat. Saturated fat is inflexible. It's stiff. Think lard at room temperature, Crisco. Okay, that's what we're doing to our brain cells. Omega fat is flexible. It bends, and it lets neurotransmission, it lets things in the cell and out of the cell much more easily. So that's why, one of the reasons why people with higher levels of omega seem to have faster thought process, better memory. I mean, it just is critical for the function of the brain. And people that have too few of omegas in their diet, their vision and their eyes and brain literally can shrink. Smaller. Anybody want a smaller brain? So this is really incredible. The study that so that's research on omegas in general. The research that we've had time to do is how well does your body absorb this all plant omega? Remember, it's pure. There's no risk of ocean toxins. Do you know that it takes 4 pounds of fish to make 1 ounce of omega oil? It is one of the biggest contributors to overfishing in the ocean, and we don't need that. We don't need to use those fish. We just go straight to the algae. But this is pretty incredible. Oops, almost fell off the rug. This is the group that they started on the omegas, okay, before they started adding the omegas. And I know you can't see this really well. I hope to show it online better later. But the group on placebo, their omega index, you can measure your omegas in your blood super easy. It's called the omega-3 index, so it's really easy to measure. The group on placebo, theirs didn't change. The group on 4 omegas, on 2 omegas, their omega-3 index went up 43% in 16 weeks. 43%. That's a huge increase on 2 omegas. The group on 4 omegas went up 79%. Wow. Okay, but here's the super interesting part to me. The part that's so revealing about why it's so important to get the variety of color, because all different plants work in synergy, help with absorption, help with the body using. So we call some of the other nutrients that are important to absorption of omega-3 cofactors. You have to have other plants to help absorption. The group on just 2 omegas, but the trio, the fruit, veg, and berry, theirs went up, their omega-3 index went up 56%. Okay, so the group on just 2 omegas went up 43%. But the group just on 2 omegas, but the other fruit, veg, and berry went up 56%. They weren't taking more omegas. They were absorbing it better. Yeah. I think that's incredibly cool to know. And I typically just take the regular dose, the two omegas. And now the newest research, the research that literally just got pushed out to us a couple of weeks ago on the trio, the fruit, veg, and berry. Okay. And I thought this research was going to be coming out on the omega, but they didn't. I think they did not have the omega out in time to start the research. Does that make sense? Because it takes time to get this research, and it can take 1 year to 2 years to get it published because it has to go through the peer review. So anyway, on the fruit, veg, and berry, on cognitive function, the research is on healthy younger adults, on their brain function. There's been quite a bit of research on adding one plant like blueberries to the older population and seeing an improvement in brain function, but there haven't been many, if any, studies. I'm not sure if there's been any until this one on the what happens when you add a wide variety of plants. a wide variety, more than just blueberries. We know blueberries are great for the brain, but they will only do a certain amount for the brain. Does that make sense? What if you started giving your body 30 plants every day? And what I'm going to propose, whoops, I held the wrong one up. I really think if they study cognitive again and add the omega, it's going to seriously increase the results on this. But I can share with you what this showed. In 16 weeks, they showed a significant improvement on short-term memory, and that is audible and visual. Do you ever look at a grocery list and you get to the grocery and you're like, what was on my list? Take more plants. Okay, working memory, which is a little more complicated, but short-term memory is part of the working memory. Attention, being able to pay attention for longer periods of time. Do you think that's important in America today?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there is a serious problem with inability to pay attention. And this is my favorite, significantly improved processing speed. Being able to understand and think faster. I'm sorry, I love that.
Yes.
And I've been taking this for 17 years, so I'm like, has my brain not, deteriorated as much? I don't have the research on my own body, but I will tell you, since I added the omega, my husband has even noticed that my memory has improved. And so anyway, I just really can't wait till they study the omega. But here's a really shocking, that is so revealing, that this was not placebo effect. First of all, the group on fruit, veg, and berry did not know, nobody knew except the researchers, who was on the real thing and who was on the lookalike. Okay, so that's real important. So the group on Juice Plus, they went through a washout period, and the group on placebo, they took them off of everything for 4 weeks. And then they flipped them. That's the double blind, right? So the group that was on Juice Plus, that had these brain function gains, were now on a placebo. And by the end of that 16 weeks, they lost all of this progress.
Wow.
So if you stop super nourishing your brain, it's not going to function as well. I mean, that's kind of logical, And if you don't get it, just take more. So, brain processing. And then the last study I'll go into, and then we'll stop the tape, but we'll take questions, is so near and dear to my heart, because as a personal trainer, I have seen this effect ever since I've had Juice Plus. Can you throw me that shake mix, please? Ever since I've had Juice Plus as a tool to help my clients, I have never had such success in changing their cravings and helping them get a handle on some things they want to get a handle on. Okay. And so this research was on gut health. And let me see, I want to show you that. It was the impact of a dried fruit and vegetable supplement, and they added the shake the last month on gut and health parameters in female healthcare workers. They were aged, I believe it was 25 to 65. And they were, or maybe it was a little bit younger than that. 25 to 50. They were all premenopausal, which I think it helps even more after menopause, I'm just saying. But so they put the group on the fruit, veg, and berry, okay? And in just 16 weeks, they showed, this is so important, you guys. This is new to a lot of people. They don't really understand what butyrate is. But butyrate is a short-chain fatty acid that is made in your colon. And the phytonutrients and fiber have to get down there, okay, so the body can make butyrate. Butyrate is one of the most important chemicals in your body. It's a short-chain fatty acid. Listen to some of the things that it helps with. It helps stabilize blood sugar levels, protects your brain from diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, protects against cancer, it actually causes the cancer cell to commit suicide.
Oh, yes.
Yes, and helps prevent obesity. Now, Juice Plus is not a weight loss product per se, it's a get healthy product. But what I've seen with my clients is when they add the capsules and they start changing their gut bacteria, you have 3 to 4 pounds of bacteria in your body and on your skin, but most of it is in the gut. And that non-human bacteria, the balance will determine to a great extent, the greatest extent, if your immune system is functioning well, if you have gut issues, if you are, it's just linked to so much of healthy or unhealthy. And America is way disproportionately unhealthy gut bacteria. They have way more unhealthy, okay? And what the capsules started doing was starting to change that. But when they added the shake the last month, and I wish that the shake had gone, the shake research had gone on a little longer, because I've seen it in my clients time and time again. This starts the process. I will never forget my husband saying, "Debbie, why aren't things starting to taste too sweet?" He was a sugarholic. He was addicted to Coca-Cola and candy bars. 2 months on this started the process, but we added the shake at 2 months. In this study, they added the shake after 16 weeks. They put them on the shake for 4 weeks, and it started flipping that gut bacteria measurably. It started moving, creating more healthy gut bacteria. And it's a particular gut bacteria that is higher in lean adults and lower in obese. And I didn't have the science, I just knew what I knew, and I saw what had happened with my clients. And so I'm thrilled to have the actual third-party published science saying, see, this is why this is happening for you. I've never had such success in helping my clients create more health and get a handle on their weight management. So what's not to love, you guys?
I love it.